The deals are incredible once again as we head into the weekend. The Nintendo Switch has become my go-to system when I want a fun indie game to play on a budget, or even sometimes a bigger game. I know I'll be playing Super Mario Bros. Wonder here in about a week, but for today I want to take you through some of the best deals under $10, and so with that in mind, we'll start with Monster Sanctuary. This is a retro RPG from Team 17 with a download around 650 megabytes, and it should offer more than 30 hours of gameplay, plus you can even battle friends in 1v1 style combat. It's a unique combination of 2D platforming, RPG mechanics, and monster catching, and while similar to other games in the genre, there's enough here to separate it and make it worth checking out. The graphics are great and it runs well here on the console, and right now you can pick it up for just $5.99, marked down 70%, and that deal ends on the 16th. Shady Part of Me is a single-player puzzle platformer with a download around 2.8 gigs, and it offers about 6 hours of main story gameplay. Now the game has a really beautiful art style and the story is pretty emotional as you play as a young girl on a fairy tale-like adventure accompanied by her shadow. What's unique here is that you have to work with your shadow to overcome puzzles and obstacles, and the game switches between 2D and 3D sections at different times throughout as well. If you're interested in Shady Part of Me, you can pick it up for just $5.99, marked down 60%, and the deal ends on the 19th. Again, you'll need a little under 3 gigs for the install. Up next we have To the Moon, which is kind of a unique game in that it resembles a classic JRPG, but plays more like a point-and-click adventure game than anything else. The story is incredibly emotional and really would be well suited for other media. I mean, it would make a great movie or a TV show, and while it does have a simple design, you can definitely tell the amount of care that went into crafting this beautiful game. The download comes in at just over 800 megabytes, and the story should take roughly 4 hours to wrap up. If you're interested in To the Moon, it's on sale for just $7.19, marked down 40% and matching an all-time low, with the deal ending on the 18th. Curse of the Dead Gods is a tough roguelike with a unique curse system that separates it from other games in the genre. It's a single-player title that gives you more than 30 hours of gameplay with tons of replay value, and of course it really does have a tough learning curve. Now the game is a blast to play through, the controls feel great, the combat is brutal, plus each run is different from the last, so it's a game that's great for short play sessions or on-the-go gaming. The graphics are gorgeous and the music is perfect. I love the amount of choice that the game gives you, and each curse comes with its own set of negatives as well, so you really do have to put some thought into it. Right now you can pick it up for just $7.99, marked down 60%, and the deal ends on the 19th. You'll need about 4.2 gigs for the install. Up next we have Dysmantle, which is an action RPG that takes place in a fantastical world where normal objects such as dressers and lamplights have come to life, and for whatever reason they want you dead. To make things worse, there's walker-like zombies on the hunt for you as well. It plays a lot like Diablo games and focuses on exploration and character progression as you try to survive and thrive in the apocalypse. The gameplay loop is incredibly addictive and you can easily spend 20 or 30 hours with it before you put it down. It offers 2-player local co-op as well, and right now it's on sale for just $8.99, marked down 55% with the deal ending again on the 16th. Raji, an ancient epic, is a single-player side-scrolling adventure game that has a roughly 6-hour main story, and the download comes in at just about 6 gigs. Now this is another emotional game that tells the story of 2 siblings separated by a great war between the gods and the demons. The war, of course, is spilled over into their world, and we follow Raji on a quest to reunite with her brother. The graphics are gorgeous, and the combat system offers a lot of depth as well, plus the game is set in ancient India, which you don't really see too often. If you're interested in this one, make sure to check it out before the deal ends on the 19th. It's marked down 66% to just $8.49, and this is definitely a hidden gem in my opinion. Up next we have Ashen, which is an action RPG with a download just under 5 gigs, and it has a main story that will last more than 20 hours to wrap up. Now the game offers online options as well, of course if you can find somebody to play with, and it has that familiar Souls-like feel to the combat and the leveling system. Plus they have a randomly generated open world for you to explore where every playthrough is a bit different from the last. Aside from the combat, you also have an in-depth crafting system as well, and there are a ton of enemies everywhere trying to take you out. If you're interested in Ashen, be sure to grab it up before the deal ends on the 16th. It's marked down 75% and matching an all-time low of just $9.99. Griftlands is a strategy RPG for 1 player. It comes to us from Clay Entertainment. They made the wonderful Don't Starve games and Mark of the Ninja. Here we have an RPG that plays out as a deck-building roguelike, and it takes place in a sci-fi world where each decision that you make is important. It gives you 3 different campaigns based on whatever character you pick at the start of every run. There are over 100 cards that you can find to fill out your deck, and of course you'll want to build the strongest party before you can take on the tougher boss battles. Right now it's on sale for just $9.99, marked down to half price with the deal ending on the 20th. You'll need a little over 2.5 gigs for the install. Up next we have Mato Anomalies, which is a single-player 3D RPG from AeroWiz Games. It has a download just over 5 gigs and offers more than 20 hours of gameplay. The story takes place in a fictionalized sci-fi version of Shanghai and follows 2 main characters as they investigate strange happenings that are going on around the city. The combat is turn-based and surprisingly complex as well, with a shared HP bar across all party members, making strategy even more important with this one. It is a pretty fun game, and right now you can get it at an all-time low of just $9.99, marked down 75% with the deal ending on the 16th. Shantae, the Half-Genie hero, is a 2D action platformer for 1 player. It comes to us from WayForward and offers a roughly 6 to 7 hour main story. The graphics are absolutely beautiful here on the Switch, and the controls are responsive, so gameplay is a blast. Plus, the levels themselves are a lot of fun, but the highlight for me were the massive boss battles. They're always creative and really were the best part of the game for me. Right now it's on sale for just $9.99, with the deal ending again on the 16th. You'll need about 2 gigs for the install. VAMPYR is one of those games that bit off a bit more than it could chew at release. It was overpriced and suffered from major frame rate issues. Now at a much more reasonable price and after some patches, it's quite enjoyable. Although I still think the loading screens are a bit much. That aside though, you get a pretty good RPG here with fun mechanics, and as you're a vampire, you'll have to feed to survive as well. The story will occasionally present you with dialogue choices, and that's always a nice touch. Overall, it's a pretty good port here on the console that you can pick up for just $9.99, marked down 75%, and the deal ends on the 20th. You will need about 7.5 gigs for the install. Windjammers 2 is an arcade-style sports game that offers both local and online multiplayer options, and that's always a plus. It has a download around 650 megabytes and of course offers plenty of replay value. The game gives you 10 playable characters with unique special attacks, and while the premise is simple, the gameplay can get pretty intense. Timing is crucial to success, as well as learning each character's strengths and weaknesses. Now, I wish there was a bit more single-player content, but as far as the multiplayer goes, this is an excellent pickup, and right now it's on sale for just $9.99, marked down 50% and matching an all-time low until the 25th. Definitely check it out. Alright everyone, here are a few other games to check out while you're already on the eShop.
All bioshells seem to work just fine. Commencing with the experiment in 3, 2, 1.
It's the whistling man.
What the hell?
Now that there's only one of us left, I thought it was time I heard the stories.
Alright everyone, that wraps up today's video. Please leave a like if you had a good time or we helped you find any cool games to pick up. Feel free to jump into the convo down below, and of course subscribe if this was your first time here. Thanks to the channel members and the patrons, and as always, stay safe my friends.